So if you've been subscribed for a while now, you know I absolutely love and highly recommend Sony's over-ear headphones. Specifically, their XP900Ns and their 1000XM3s. But when it comes to their earbuds, I really do feel Sony is lacking in that department. But today, we've got the new WF-SP800Ns. Now, even though these earbuds definitely do have a lot of room for improvement, I do think they are a step in the right direction for Sony, and these are a really good pair of secondary earbuds for working out. Now, the Sony WF-SP800Ns retail for $200, but they can be found on sale for $170, and for comparison's sake, the WF-1000XM3s retail for $230, but they can be found on sale for $178. Now, ultimately, the WF-1000XM3s do outperform the SP800Ns tech specs-wise, but the SP800Ns are more focused towards working out. Nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below. Now, first off, like I just mentioned, the SP800Ns are more focused towards working out, whereas the WF-1000XM3s are supposed to be your premium everyday carry truly wireless earbuds. But the most noticeable difference between these two earbuds is going to be their fit. The SP800Ns fit a little differently than the WF-1000XM3s, but more importantly, these earbuds have optional ear fins, whereas the WF-1000XM3s don't. Now, personally, I do prefer how the SP800Ns fit over the WF-1000XM3s, specifically because these earbuds don't go in super deep into your ear canal like the WF-1000XM3s do. The SP800Ns fit like your standard in-ear earbuds, just like the Galaxy Buds Plus, Jabra Elite 75Ts, or Sennheiser Momentum 2s. Now, like I just mentioned, the SP800Ns also come included with optional ear fins that really do help with keeping these earbuds in place, which could come in really in handy if you plan on working out with these earbuds. Or you can do what I do and just not use the ear fins on these earbuds if you just plan on using these earbuds as everyday carry earbuds. But for comparison's sake, the SP800Ns only come included with silicone ear tips, whereas the WF-1000XM3s also come included with a second set of triple comfort ear tips. Now, personally, I do find that the triple comfort ear tips on the WF-1000XM3s do get very itchy very quickly, so I don't use them. But ultimately, I do think the SP800Ns fit much better than the WF-1000XM3s, because they don't go in super deep into your ear canal, and they also have those optional ear fins if you want them. So, overall, I'm very happy to see that Sony has been improving the fit on their earbuds, because even the new WF-SP700s fit better than the WF-1000XM3s, because the WF-SP700s also fit like a standard pair of in-ear earbuds. But somewhere where Sony is definitely still struggling is when it comes to their carrying case. Now, the SP800N's carrying case is definitely decent because it has good build quality, the lid opens and closes very easily, and this case has strong magnets in it that make putting your earbuds away super easy. But this carrying case is still large, and I would argue that the 1000XM3's case is still better. Now, even though at first glance the SP800N's case looks smaller than the WF-1000XM3's case, it's actually not, because it is noticeably thicker. So if you were to look at the WF-SP800Ns through the lens of everyday carry earbuds, like with the Pixel Buds, AirPods, AirPods Pro, Jabra Elite 75Ts, or Galaxy Buds Plus, the SP800Ns are a major no-go because this case is just way too big and you're really going to notice it when it's in your pocket. But if you were to strictly look at the SP800Ns as workout earbuds like they're intended to, then I say this case is perfectly fine. And this case is way smaller than the Powerbeats Pro's case, which is just gigantic. So if you were to stash this case in your gym bag, size doesn't really matter. Now, when it comes to tech specs, this carrying case charges via a USB-C port, which is great, especially if you're an Android user. But keep in mind, even though this carrying case is rather large, it doesn't have wireless charging. Now, personally, I don't really care about wireless charging unless I have a phone that has power sharing. But I do find it interesting that this carrying case doesn't have wireless charging, whereas both the Pixel Buds and Galaxy Buds Plus do have wireless charging, and those cases are significantly smaller than this one. Now, when it comes to battery life, these earbuds have a combined advertised battery life of 18 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 9 straight hours and the case can supply an additional full charge. But that advertised battery life of 18 hours is for when these earbuds have their active noise cancellation turned on. And personally, I only use the active noise cancellation on any of my ANC earbuds when I have to. So if you only use the ANC on these earbuds when you have to, these earbuds actually have a combined advertised battery life of 26 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 13 straight hours and the case can supply an additional full charge. So if you were to compare the battery life on these earbuds to other truly wireless earbuds out there that don't have active noise cancellation, like the Galaxy Buds Plus, Jabra Elite 75Ts, or Pixel Buds, these earbuds can actually keep up, but their battery life isn't as impressive because of the size of their case. But for comparison's sake, the WF-1000XM3s have a combined advertised battery life of 24 hours with their ANC turned on, and with their ANC turned off, they have an advertised battery life of 32 hours. Which isn't all that bad, but again, it isn't all that impressive because of the size of their case. Now, when it comes to the Bluetooth connectivity on these earbuds, the SP800Ns are identical to the WF-1000XM3s. Both of these earbuds each establish a connection with your phone, so if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one, it doesn't matter. And both of these earbuds have zero latency across the board whenever you try to watch movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device, which is great. So overall, I don't have any complaints when it comes to the Bluetooth connectivity on these earbuds. But now let's talk about listening to music with these earbuds. First off, I gotta say that the stock EQ on these earbuds is very bass heavy. The stock EQ on these earbuds just puts any pair of power beats to shame. And personally, I do not like how these earbuds sound with their stock EQ because the bass on these earbuds is very overpowering. But I'm not surprised that these earbuds have a very bass heavy EQ because these earbuds are technically a pair of workout earbuds. So Sony probably jacked up the bass on these earbuds for when you're working out. But thankfully, these earbuds do have a fully customizable EQ, so you can go in and fix them. And personally, I reduced the extra bass on these earbuds and increased the mids and highs, and now they sound like the 1000XM3's stock EQ. And overall, performance-wise, the SP800N sound identical to the 1000XM3s, which is a really good thing. They get decently loud, they have decent instrument separation, the highs on these earbuds stay very well put together, and they never get tinny, and these earbuds also have a very good amount of bass to them, if you want it. I can confidently say that these earbuds sound better than the AirPods Pro, Powerbeats Pro, Galaxy Buds Plus, Pixel Buds, and Jabra Elite 75Ts. But these definitely don't come close to my personal favorites, the Sennheiser Momentum 2s. But since the SP800Ns have a fully customizable EQ, these earbuds are definitely people pleasers. If you like a lot of bass, you can do that, or if you like a neutral sound signature, you can also do that. Now, just like the WF-1000XM3s, the SP800Ns also have touchpads on each of their earbuds. And through Sony's app, you can pick what each earbud does. Now personally, I think that having one earbud controlling your music playback and having another earbud controlling your ambient sound settings is the best setup, but this setup does mean that you gotta control your volume from your phone. But overall, I really do like the touchpads on these earbuds because they're very accurate and easy to use. But they also do a very good job of rejecting accidental inputs when you're just adjusting these earbuds. But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these earbuds. Like I mentioned earlier, I only like to use the ANC on any of my earbuds when I have to. And overall, I do feel that the active noise cancellation on the WF-1000XM3s does block out noticeably more noise than the SP800Ns. Specifically, the active noise cancellation on the WF-1000XM3s does a much better job of blocking out constant lower frequency sounds than the SP800Ns. Now, just to taper expectations here, these earbuds aren't going to block out nearly as much noise as a proper pair of over-ear headphones. But the active noise cancellation on the WF-1000XM3s is mostly useful for like when you're on a bus to block out road noise. And when it comes to ranking, I still feel that both the AirPods Pro and Sennheiser Momentum 2s block out noticeably more noise than the WF-1000XM3s. And even though the active noise cancellation on the SP800Ns does do something, I think the amount of noise that these earbuds block out doesn't really matter when you're playing music through these earbuds because these earbuds block out so little noise. But more importantly, the SP800Ns have an ambient mode, and just like with Sony's other products, the ambient mode on these earbuds is really good. This ambient mode sounds very natural, and the ambient mode on these earbuds does a really good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. And you can also adjust how much noise these earbuds let in through their app. So again, I don't have any complaints about the ambient mode on these earbuds, and personally, I think a really good ambient mode on any pair of truly wireless earbuds is more important than active noise cancellation. The only major difference between the ambient mode on both of these earbuds to keep in mind is that the ambient mode on the WF-1000XM3s actively block out sudden spikes in loud noises, just like how the 1000XM3 headphones do. Whereas the ambient mode on the SP800Ns just let in everything. But finally, here's the microphone test, and I think the microphone on the SP800Ns is good enough to get the job done for a quick phone call, but this microphone isn't really doing much to isolate my voice from that AC unit. Whereas the microphone on the WF-1000XM3s does a much better job of isolating my voice from that AC unit. Because if we were to switch back over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear that AC unit. But if we switch back to the WF-1000XM3s, you don't hear it as much. But overall, if you were to strictly look at the Sony WF-SP800Ns as a pair of workout earbuds as they're intended to, I think these earbuds are great, and I think these are a better pair of workout earbuds than the Powerbeats Pro. Mainly because the SP800Ns have an ambient mode, which I feel is crucial for people who like to work out in public. Because for some reason, Apple just refuses to add their transparency mode to their Powerbeats Pro, which doesn't really make them all that pro. But also, the SP800Ns have a very secure fit thanks to their ear fins, and a combined battery life of 26 hours is not bad at all if you only use the ANC on these earbuds when you absolutely have to. So whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user, I think the SP800Ns are a really good pair of secondary earbuds for working out. Now, if you're an Android user that's considering getting these earbuds as a pair of everyday carry earbuds, even though they are decent and they sound great, personally for me, they wouldn't be my first choice because of their large case. And that also applies to the WF-1000XM3s. And overall, the WF-1000XM3s do outperform the SP800Ns when it comes to their microphone quality, which is crucial for everyday earbuds, and they also slightly outperform them when it comes to their battery life and ANC performance. But personally, I'm just really happy to see that Sony is working on the fit of their earbuds, but for the future WF-1000XM4s, we've got to see some major changes when it comes to their carrying cases. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.